Yeah, so everything's thanks. That's amazing.
You're ready, Jen.
Come on. Be like a fan of wine.
Maybe not.
Usually dads are either
Right
on
here.
their phone.
It's like this.
Every dad knows it's gonna be like on their phone watching something.
Oh.
This one's phone down, we're not, but still, like. Yeah, so. Funny. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It's 6 p.m. I'd like to go ahead and call tonight's meeting to order. It's April 9th, 2026, and this is our regular council meeting. Lori, can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Young,
Here.
Vice Mayor Painter,
Here.
Councilmember Brandon,
Here.
Councilmember Sartori,
Here.
Councilmember Snow.
Thank you. Our invocation and pledge of allegiance will be led by Councilmember Brandon.
Thank you, Mayor. If you guys would bow your heads, we'll do that first. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We ask for your guidance and your wisdom as we gather to make decisions that impact the lives of those we represent. Grant us clarity of mind, integrity in our actions, and a spirit of cooperation and respect. Help us to listen thoughtfully, speak kindly, and work together for the common good. May our efforts promote unity and the well-being of all people in our community. Give us the courage to do what is right and the humility to seek understanding. We ask for your blessing on this meeting and on all those that are present. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. First up for presentations, agenda item 1, we have a proclamation recognizing April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day.
And Mayor, we are going to memorialize that into the record, and that will be read at the Arbor Day ceremony.
Fantastic, thank you. Agenda item 2, proclamation recognizing April as Water Conservation Month.
Whereas water is a fundamental and essential requirement for every living creature. Whereas the state of Florida, Florida section of American Water Works Association, Florida's wastewater management districts of the village and the Village of Tequesta are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation. Whereas the Village of Tequesta and the state of Florida has designated April, typically a dry month, when water demands are most acute, Florida's Water Conservation Month, to educate residents about how they can help conserve Florida's precious water resources. The Village of Tequesta has consistently encouraged and supported water conservation through various educational programs and special events, whereby every business, industry, school, and resident can make a difference by playing a role in conserving water and promoting a strong economy and community. Therefore, now be it proclaimed by the Village of Tequesta, does hereby proclaim and recognize the month of April as Water Conservation Month.
Thank you. And is the water utility going to accept the proclamation?
Yes,
Are they doing the next one as well?
Yes, they are.
So do you want to read that one into record? Then we can bring you guys up. Perfect. Okay, so agenda item 3, proclamation recognizing May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as Drinking Water Week.
Whereas water is our most valuable natural resource. Whereas drinking water serves a vital role in daily life, supporting the quality of life and overall well-being of our residents. Whereas tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and the quality of life we enjoy. Whereas the hard work performed by the entire water sector, designating capital projects, operators ensuring the safety and quality of drinking water, or member of a pipe crew maintaining the infrastructure communities rely on to transport high-quality drinking water from its source to consumers' taps. Whereas safe and reliable drinking water remains essential to protecting public health and supporting the health, hydration, and hygiene needs of our community. Whereas the residents of our village are called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved with their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Now therefore be it proclaimed, the Village of Tequesta does hereby recognize the week of May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as Drinking Water Week.
Thank you, Lori. And I just want to say thank you to our water utility department and all the staff that work hard there. Water is one of the most, critical services we provide to our constituents and outside of our boundaries as well. And especially in light of all the capital projects you have going on to, really secure, strengthen, and protect our system. Truly, thank you for all the hard work you guys do.
Eat your swats yourselves.
Okay, and our final presentation tonight, agenda item 4, is to accept the annual comprehensive final report for the year ending September 30th, 2025. Jeff.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, it's a pleasure to be here. We have on a Zoom meeting here the managing partner for Maldes and Jenkins, which is a top shelf regional firm who has done our audit, and he's here to give you an update on how it went, I guess is where we're going. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're on.
All right, great. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you all tonight, even if it is virtually. I really do appreciate it. Couldn't quite get my schedule to work out to where I could be there in person, but I'm there in spirit. So I've got a brief presentation for you all. As always, if you have any questions throughout the process, just feel free to stop me and we'll answer away. The first couple slides are just our agenda, then a little bit of information about Malden and Jenkins. I won't go over all of those. I will just point out that we did acquire a firm out west, so we are continuing to grow. We're now a firm of over 800 individuals. So we have a lot of resources now, as in the past, but even more to be able to serve the village going forward. As you all know, the village does prepare an ACFR, an annual comprehensive financial report. This report is above and beyond what the state actually requires you all to prepare. It does include an introductory section as well as a large statistical section, which has got a lot of good information over 10 years and historical, along with, of course, the financial section, which is the main component of the overall report. The next slide regarding our opinion. Of course, you all hire us each and every year to perform an audit and to express an opinion on the financial statements. We have done so. We've expressed an unmodified or clean opinion. This is the type of opinion that you all wish to receive each and every year. Do want to remind you all that the financial statements are the responsibility and the representation of management. Next slide. Toward the back of the report, we have two other reports that we put together. One is the compliance report, what we call the Yellow Book report. This is our report on our tests of the village's internal controls in compliance with laws, regulations, etc. If we had any kind of findings, material weaknesses, or significant deficiencies, those would be reported here. Once again, very happy to report that we noted no current year findings. Jeff, Tatiana, their team do a great job of taking care of the books and records for the village all throughout the year. Then they do a really good job of helping us get through the audit process, answering all of our questions, providing all of the support for the overall audit itself. This year, the village did receive and spend about $2 million in state awards, which required an additional state single audit. This was on your drinking water state revolving fund. And we noted no exceptions or issues with regards to those funds as well. Next slide, just some high-level information on the report itself. The current year change in your total net position was an increase of about $7.8 million from the prior year. Your village-wide total net position reached $63.2 million. Your general fund balance ended the year at $10.1 million, which represents about 214 days or 7 months of general fund expenditures, so those are very good overall balances. All of the village's business type funds had positive cash flows from operating activities. That's one thing that I pay close attention to each and every year. Your pension trust funds combined for an increase in that position of $5.6 million. And as you can see there, all of them are over 100% funded as of the end of the year, which again is a very good, strong position to be in. Not many plans can say that in the state of Florida. So that's hats off to the board and to the pension plans for doing so well. The next slide is just some of our required communications. I won't go over all of those. I will just state that the village was required to implement GASB 101 this year regarding compensated absences. Additionally, going over a couple more slides, do just point out that we are independent with regards to the village. We take that very, very seriously. Just want to make a note of that. Then the next slide is just some real high-level information about the village. This is 2025, and the next slide is 2024. Again, the spending per resident is about $3,300. That's compared to about $3,200 in 2024. As noted earlier, the general fund has a good, strong fund balance, of which it had a 14.8% increase over the prior year. Your debt per resident was only $1,400. Total number of employees at the end of the year is about 103 compared to about 101 in the prior year. And overall employee compensation represents about 64% of the general fund total spend. Then the next slide is a graph on the general fund total revenues. Obviously, the majority of the revenues do come from property taxes. The next slide shows where those funds actually go, the majority of which is going to be public safety. This is very typical for a village or a municipality of your size, so all good information there. Then the next slide is a 5-year history of the general fund fund balance. Again, good, strong, steady growth there. Again, totaling just a little over $10 million as of 2025. Next couple of slides are just some of your enterprise fund information. As I mentioned before, your operating revenues are exceeding your operating expenditures. So that's, again, evidence to me that you all are charging the proper rates to cover the cost of those operations, which is a good thing. Next couple of slides I'll skip over. I do want to mention that we also put together for you all what we call our auditor's discussion and analysis, our AD&A. This is where all of our required communications are listed in a written format. Again, if we had any kind of findings or recommendations for improvements, those would be listed there. Again, we had none for this year. We also do list out all of the upcoming GASB standards and pronouncements for you all. We also let you all know that we do provide free continuing professional education for all of our clients. So hopefully your finance department has been able to benefit from that. Certainly anyone on this board is also more than welcome to attend those events. Those are done virtually and free of charge. Then the last slide is just, do you all have any questions for me?
Great, thank you, Wade, for that presentation. Council, I'll open it up for questions or comments.
Thank you, great presentation. No questions.
No questions, man.
Sorry, got some questions. Looking at the report, noticed that the fund balance has continued to grow. Is that amount recommended for a village this size, or are we doing better than most?
Well, you're certainly doing well. The fund balance that you have is a good fund balance for you all. And obviously, being in Florida, you know, the GFOA recommends having about 2 or 3 months of fund balance in the general fund. Obviously, you're a little bit more than that, but I think in the state of Florida, it's prudent to have more than just 2 or 3 months of fund balance because of the storms that we all hope to not encounter, but often do see. So again, I think the fund balance that you all have is good for the overall size of the village.
Does that fund balance include the $500,000 that we have for hurricanes, both the general fund and $500,000 for utilities? Or is that separate?
The utility would be separate.
But that $500,000 for the hurricanes that we've set aside years ago is included in that fund balance?
That's correct.
Okay. The pensions are highly funded. Is there anything that we can do there to bring that closer to 100% for some of those?
Well, you know, your actuary is the one that computes and creates the required community or the required contributions each and every year, on which you all are required by state law to follow. Certainly, by having and being in an overfunded position, your required contributions in the future should somewhat decrease. But that is again up to state law and the actuaries.
And then last question, average employee compensation, a little over $101,000 a year, total benefits. Is that consistent across, in your professional experience, is that pretty consistent?
So, you know, it really all depends on the location within the state that you are in. Certainly, I think your area is a high cost area, and so that is a little bit larger than you would see in other more rural areas. But I don't believe it's out of line. No, sir.
Thank you. No more questions.
Can I follow up with just the actuarial study on the pension? You know, we recently got the updated one because this is as of September 25. We obviously have new salaries. The actuarial study I showed, you know, we're not that healthy, and I mean, we're still healthy. We have a healthy pension, but there were some things that changed. If you guys remember, we lowered the assumption rate on it. The life expectancy changed. So there are some significant changes to that pension as far as policy that changed. That has changed that trajectory a little bit. So it's not, those numbers represent what they were in September of 25.
Perfect.
So.
Thank you, Ed. I have no questions.
I have one question in regards to the reserves, because there's been comments made in the past that if you have too much reserves, it looks like you're hoarding taxpayer dollars. But we've been building up our reserves because we know we have capital projects that we want to hopefully see come to life and, you know, bring those across the finish line. Do you see anyone in other municipalities or areas deal with savings for future capital projects in another manner, or is it in the right place like we have it now?
So if you're speaking of the total in the general fund, certainly there are times when other governments will take those funds and actually pull them out and move them over to a capital projects fund in advance of any kind of actual construction. But at the end of the day, having those funds set aside for those future projects that both the council and obviously your citizens are going to want and need, that is the right thing to do, versus trying to go out into the debt market each and every time you want to complete a project. So I think accumulating those funds and putting them either in the general fund or in a capital projects fund is what you should be doing.
Okay, great, thank you. And otherwise, I just want to thank Jeff and our finance department and Wade, you and your team for your hard work on this. And I think in light of a lot of the chatter from the state this year and how they say there's a lack of transparency, I beg to differ. This is done every single year. It's super transparent. The whole report is attached to the agenda. Anyone can look it up. So thank you for your work. Thank you for your transparency, and great job. Right, thank you, Wade. You can probably sign off now.
Thank you very much.
Yep, have a good one.
Mayor, before we move on, excuse me, I got a text at 6:07 that the audio was not working on.
We're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, on to the consent agenda. And before we take a motion, I did just want to recognize and thank the Whitman family for their continued donation for the maintenance of our beloved banyan tree on Point Drive. It's really heartwarming to see the generosity and love that this family has for the community. So just thank you again, Whitman family. We really, really appreciate it. Right, and is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Any communications from the citizens tonight?
Yes, we have Harold Taylor.
Do you want to pass this down? We'll give it to the clerk for record. Thank you.
My name is Harold Taylor, 13 Chapel Court, Tequesta, Florida. I'm here to talk about what's happened in the Hannah's Home addition, the two duplexes, the grading, everything else. The way it's being done by the contractor to me is puzzling. I worked for Bechtel for 28 years in construction. I have a pretty good idea of what's supposed to happen. But looking at what has happened over the past year, there have been at least 3 organizations involved in what's gone on over there. Number 1 is Hannah's Home. Number 2 is their contractor. If there are any subcontractors, the main contractor is still responsible, and to some degree, the village of Tequesta. If you look at the pictures, I've lived in my home since 1989. I've never had any problems in the past with what's happened at Hannah's Home. Ever since they began this construction, I've asked, beginning at the top of the organization, can you please clean your property out to the property lines? They've never done it. There's about a 3 or 4 foot strip between their property or their property line and my back fence and where the bulldozer stopped clearing. So what's happened with torpedo grass, if any of you ever worked with torpedo grass, you know how nasty it is. No matter what you do, you can't pull it out. You can't get all the roots out. I always try to avoid using chemicals to get rid of weeds and unwanted grass. It's gotten so bad in my back garden area, it's just taken over. The photographs show that. Essentially, 3 organizations have ignored people that live on Chapel Court and people that live on Chapel Circle. If you walk down their east property line and look at what's going on over at Hannah's Home area, I've got the worst area for torpedo grass. If I walk down further south, you can't believe the number of weeds and bushes that are growing 3 and 4 foot tall. you know those roots must be penetrating the yards of people that have no fence in the backyard, or at least a fence, but they don't have a garden. We have been totally ignored by Hannah's Home, the contractor, and to some degree the village of Tequesta. I believe as a neighbor, you have a moral responsibility to maintain your property in a way that doesn't adversely affect your neighbor. That's not being done. There's probably a dozen of us that live on Chapel Court, Chapel Circle put together. We've been ignored totally. And I'm sure if I went to other people's property, asked them what happens to their yard, you're gonna find out the weeds, crabgrass, whatever, have progressed into their yards as well. That's being totally immoral.
Okay, your 3 minutes is up. I do thank you for bringing this to our attention. Jeremy, is that something you can comment on tonight, or can we have Wayne reach out?
We'll have Wayne look at it.
Okay, you will hear from Wayne. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Any other communications? This is right. All right, any other public comment for items that are not on the agenda tonight? Okay, moving on to communications from council.
I have nothing.
I just want to say a quick thank you to Councilmember Sartori. He helped arrange a very awesome opportunity for our police explorers to see another aspect of law enforcement and also how our justice system works and tied in with how our law enforcement have to do their job, because they do go hand in hand. So I appreciate the effort and your personal time. And I just want to throw out, if anyone else, even in our community, has anything that could be beneficial and educational for the police explorers, to reach out to Jeremy, and then he can guide you to the correct person who helps organize those things. But it was very awesome to see those opportunities behind the scenes that are not offered, I think, to a lot of public people. So thank you to you. And to anyone up here or in the community, opportunities are welcomed. That's it.
No comment for me.
I have nothing tonight.
No, I just want to thank staff for all the fun Easter festivities we had the other week, and I know our community really appreciates that. It's fun to see the videos and the photos, so thank you for your efforts there. All right, moving on to standing reports. I have Village Attorney.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Village Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We have issued a notice of intent for the quiet zone. This starts a 60-day review period for opportunities for FEC, FDOT, and additional opportunities for comments, objections, any identification of safety concerns. At this point, there are no major resources expended. However, after into the 60-day period, we will, find out more about our fate with the quiet zone, and we'll keep council and the citizens apprised of that situation. Boards and committees, our deadline for that is April 15th. We are taking applications for Planning and Zoning Board, Environmental Advisory Board, and Pension Board. This Saturday, we have the Shred It with a Cop, Shred It and Coffee with a Cop event. That starts at 9 a.m. The concert series is back this Saturday from 4 to 9. In addition to that, the EAC is going to be doing a vertical oyster garden presentation at that event. Hopefully get some people signed up to participate. And then, as you guys may know, Monday, April 13th is our strategic planning session. With that, you have my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the manager? All right, Police Department.
Evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Before you have the monthly report, just a couple of things I want to highlight. Councilman Sartori, Councilwoman Brendan said thank you for coordinating that for the Explorers. They truly had a great time. John Port couldn't stop talking about it, so thank you so much for that. Throughout the month, we had 3 facility tours that we provided to some of our residents. We did a bike helmet fitting at First Presbyterian, where we gave out over 30 bicycle helmets, as well as stayed for their first annual bicycle Grand Prix, if you want to call it, with the kids. It rained a little bit, but they got it done, and we had a great time with them. We concluded the month of march with 52 stops with the ice creams and the crumble cookies to the kids. We still have some left over, and the officers are still, when they see the kids, still stopping them and providing those as well. In regards to meetings, we were part of the Residents Academy the last week, obviously, and then the Tequesta Residents Action Committee. I had said that last time we had received 3 new members. They came to our first meeting on March 31st, and I actually had some great input. One of the things that we're looking to change around is the coffee with a cop. They were saying that it's good that we do it with Lori on the shred event, but they wanted a little more personal, a little more ability to communicate with us a little better, because it's kind of like a quick drive-through. So we're looking to do it at different facilities throughout the village, coffee shops, and setting that up maybe on a quarterly schedule. So I thought that was a great idea. We welcomed our new officer, Terrell, who has hit the ground running. Jeremy and I have been working on an event, on an e-bike / bike / family day event for sometime in June. Hopefully we may have some NFL players that are going to be a part of that, as long as training camp doesn't get in the way. But we're looking forward to that, putting that together. We're in the early stages of that, but Officer Terrell is actually kind of taking the lead on that, something that he had done at his prior department, and so we're working together on that. That's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the chief? No, ma'am.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Fire department.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Before you have my standing report as well, and just a few highlights also. We had a very productive meeting with Pulte Home Builders. They're going to be redoing the reserve. There's about 9 buildings that they're talking about. So we brought Wayne in, and we're talking about the fire protection in those buildings. So that's going to move forward probably next week. We'll have another sit down with them. So that's a positive direction. There's 5 buildings there. There's 1 half done, and then there's 9 more townhouse buildings to be finished. So hopefully we can get that across the finish line soon. Let's see, we participated in Tequesta Resident Academy graduation as well. That was a really fun night. I enjoyed it. And our training continues, lots of water rescue training, because it's that time of year. It's starting to get warmer. So we've had a couple of our guys go to some specialized training and bringing back a lot of stuff. We have also, myself and 2 others went to Columbus for the pre-build on our rescue, and I have good news on that. They were quoting us 30 to 32 months, and now it looks like it's going to be under 20 months to get that rescue here. So that's really, really good news. It was a great trip. I had never done one of those in all the years I've been in the fire service. I've never done apparatus committee work, so it's exciting to watch. I cannot wait to see it progress, and we'll go back one more time for the final punch list when they're about a month out, and then we will take delivery. So hopefully around 20 months or less is what I'm looking for. We also hosted a free CPR and AED orientation course for Sandpoint Bay. We had about 20 residents come. It was a great, Andre Dodd ran it, and he said it was fantastic. We're going to put something on the website through Lori to see if we can get some of the other condos involved. The AED at Tequesta Park has officially been installed, and all the dispatch communication centers have been made aware of how to reach out in the event they need to unlock the AED. Thank you, Doug. Got that finished yesterday, I believe. It was yesterday got done. So that's really good news for us as well. They've been wanting one of those. Parks has been asking for it for quite some time. So we were able to get that finished. I think that's about it. Does anyone have any questions?
Council, any questions or comments?
Thanks, Chief.
Perfect. Thank you.
Utilities department.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Allison Berg, Utilities Director. Before you tonight is my update and just highlighting a couple of items. For Dover Ditch, we did submit for a reimbursement request for the grant that we received through LRPI. So working through a couple additional document submittals, but we are excited to receive that reimbursement for that project. For well 28, we completed our test well. Everything looks good. We submitted a minor letter modification for our permit to South Florida Water Management District yesterday, and feel confident that that will get pushed through quickly and we can begin working towards design of that well at the water plant. Surficial well 26 was fully rehabbed. Rehab finished on Tuesday, and we will begin bacteriological testing of it tomorrow morning. So that's 10 samples, so it should be completed by mid next week, and we'll place that well back into service. We did receive a proposal from JLA Geosciences for our consumptive use or water use permit renewal. And so we will be planning to do that in fiscal year 27. The water treatment plant improvements, we've had a couple of meetings for that project, and we plan to receive our revised drawings for that on April 17th and go out to bid early June for that project. SCADA conversion, we've had our kickoff meeting for that project. We're very excited about it. The IT department is also assisting us with procurement of the servers that will be needed to do that conversion. We did visit a couple of other treatment facilities and see how their SCADA works, just to get a couple ideas of how we can have the different layouts on the screen. So we're really excited to get that project done. Anticipated completion of that project is November of this year. The filter media replacement project and the membrane replacement project are right at substantial completion, if not over substantial completion, so those projects are being closed out. So we will be processing the final pay applications for those two projects in the coming weeks. Water treatment master plan, update from Kimley-Horn was that they should have their internal review of their report by the end of this month, and so we will be finalizing the master plan early next month. For Water Main 1 Tequesta Drive, all the directional drilling has been completed, so the directional driller is off the site now. The only remaining road crossing is Riverside Drive. They previously had planned to do this crossing about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They did the partial lane closure, ripped up the road, and found that the force main is not where it was on the drawings, so it was actually closer to the middle of the road where the water main was supposed to go. So they took some shots of all the elevations of the pipes that are there, and it's with our engineer to redesign that crossing of the road, because it's going to be a little bit difficult. But other than that, the majority of the work is done. It's just finishing the testing of the water mains that have been installed from Short Ave East. Those still have to be pressure tested, bacteriological tested, so you'll see the taps running still with water. But Short Ave West, we sent that package to the Department of Health, so those mains should be placed into service in hopefully the next 2 weeks. And then full restoration from Short Ave West will be completed after that. Water Main 2 Beach Road Phase 2, the contract for award is on tonight's agenda. Water Main 3 Jupiter and the Pines South. We had our kickoff design meeting on Monday for the 60% design comments. We plan to have that project fully designed by May and go to the August SRF request for inclusion meeting with that full design, and hopefully get SRF funding for that project to complete it, or at least begin it in FY27. County Line Road water main and raw water main replacement. When they were doing the pressure test of our water main, raw water main, and Loxahatchee River District's irrigation quality main, our water main did not pass the pressure test. They believe that when they were pulling the pipe back through the bore, that a joint disconnected. So they are going to have to re-drill that entire raw water main again. We've been working with FDEP, Army Corps, and Martin County for the permits for that project. We do not believe that any major permit modifications will be required because we're still staying within our easement. The main will just have to go a little bit deeper. The contractor is covering all costs for the additional engineering time and for the cost of re-drilling that main. But they are still anticipated to finish that project hopefully by June. It just kind of depends right now on how quickly FDEP gets back to us on whether a minor permit modification will be required or not. And that project is being managed by Loxahatchee River District. And then just a couple of other items for the utilities. All of our vacancies have been filled, knock on wood. We had our last vacancy filled on March 30th with Michael Hartshorn. He comes to us and he will be working the water distribution team. So all of our vacancies are filled. Now we just have to get everybody up to speed. So we're pretty excited to have that. And a lot of the vacancies were caused by internal promotion. So while we were kind of creating our own problem, we were also encouraging staff and really building the redundancy that we have within our team. Also on the miscellaneous list is our Drop Savers program. So at the next council meeting, we will be presenting all of our Drop Saver winners. We have some goodies that we're getting donations for, as well as some awards. We'll have a presentation so you all can see the award winners and their posters. The whole point of that program is to promote water conservation, so we're really, really excited to be kicking off that program for the first time this year. We also submitted our RO concentrate permit renewal this morning with FDEP, so that permit expires in December. So we're working through that permit process now to get that permit renewed, and that's for our concentrate discharge out to the intercoastal. I'm glad everybody came in dry tonight, but as you know, it's been raining. Our team has tried to stay on top of it, going around making sure there's not any major flooding. Where there is flooding, mostly on US 1 and Old Dixie, we've tried to be proactive. We don't own the drainage that's in those areas, but we have been working with the county to notify them of the issues of the drainage, as well as the pump station that's on Old Dixie hasn't been running, so we've been in communication to let them know that it's not running, and then hooking up our pumps to provide some relief in those areas. And then last but not least, we did get notified this afternoon that one of the trucks that we had ordered for this fiscal year will be delivered by Monday. So we are very excited about that. And with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you, Allison. Council, any comments or questions?
Just tremendous amount of thorough information. Thank you very much.
So when we talk about that Old Dixie area and its county, what's their response time when there's issues? And you don't have to give me exact time. Is it within a day? Is it kind of quick, or are we kind of having to get on them?
I would have to ask our distribution and stormwater superintendent. He's the one who communicates with them, so I'd have to ask him what the response time is. I have not heard a response yet about the pumps not working. Typically, it's our guys going out there and either unclogging the drains, which was on US 1, so they unclogged those drains. So after they were unclogged, they drained pretty quick. And I don't even know if they reached out in that situation to the county. They just went out there and unclogged them really quick. But with the pumps, I can find out.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because we've been down this road before with that section, and it is some of it's very simple. Like if our guys can just quickly unclog something. So I don't know what that partnership looks like, but again, if they aren't capable of responding quickly, maybe we build that relationship and make something kind of happen so we can get residents safer traveling. That's all.
So your report makes me very, very happy.
Okay, thank
Just
you.
so you know.
Me too.
It's nice to see that we're not kicking the can down the road as much previous years ago. Simple question, looking at the accounts receivable outstanding chart, I'm sure there was something happened October, November, December, January. There's a larger green bar talking about 180 days for residential. Was there a write-off that took place?
There was.
Okay.
Yes.
No, great report, Allison, and you already know this, but Dover Ditch looks awesome. It looks so nice.
Thank you. Yep. Great. No comment, just keep up the good work. All right, on to the regular agenda. Under old business, agenda item 21, ordinance number 03-26, which is the second reading of an ordinance amending our construction hours, enacting construction site maintenance, and creating a new green building incentive program.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 0326, an ordinance of the Village Council of the Village of Tequesta, Florida, amending Chapter 14 building regulations, providing multiple recommended building and building regulation code updates, amending Chapter 14 at Article 1 in general to modify construction work hours, at Article 4 creating a new green building incentive program, at Article 8 construction site maintenance requiring temporary construction site fencing, providing that each and every other section, subsection Chapter 14 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify effective date for other purposes. This is second reading.
Thank you, Keith. Jay?
Yep. Good evening, Jay Hupsch, Community Development Director. So this passed on first reading unanimously with really no outstanding questions. So I really don't have anything further to add unless you have anything to ask.
Council, any comments or questions?
None.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 22, ordinance number 04-26, which is the second reading of the ordinance that makes some minor amendments to the powers and duties of the Planning and Zoning Board.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 0426, ordinance of the Village Council of the Village of Tequesta, Florida, amending Chapter 22, Community Development, providing multiple recommended community development code updates, amending Chapter 22 at Article 2, Community Appearance, Section 2253, Powers and Duties, adding special exception review to the Planning and Zoning Board's responsibilities. At Section 2255, authorizing notice to be published on Village's Public Notice Board, providing that each and every other section and subsection in Chapter 22 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts cause severability, clause authority to codify effective date and for other purposes. This is second reading.
Thank you. Jay, anything to add?
Same thing as the other one. This passed unanimously with really no outstanding questions.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions? Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Agenda item 23, second hearing to consider approval of the First Amendment to the Development Agreement for the Reserve.
Before you tonight, sorry, Allison Berg, Utilities Director. Before you tonight is the first addendum to the development agreement for the reserve at Tequesta. This agreement was executed on May 13, 2021. It was a 5-year agreement, so it will be up May 13, 2026. The agreement does provide for renewals. This is the second hearing to consider approval of that first addendum for the renewal of that agreement. The agreement is specific to the infrastructure that they are installing for that development related to our water utilities and the cost and responsibilities for turning over that equipment to us for that infrastructure.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions? No. Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 24, consider approval of Florida Design Contractors change order number 3.
Good evening, Council. Allison Berg, Utilities Director. Before you tonight is change order number 3 for Florida Design Contractors for our water treatment plant filter vessel rehabilitation. Other than the final balancing change order, this is the last expected change order for this project. This change order is a result of the welding that was completed on the filter vessels 5 and 2. When welding on these steel vessels, burn-through marks can occur, and so in order to provide protection for the outside of these tanks and for aesthetics, we requested that the contractor provide us a quote to coat the outside of the vessels just from the bottom of the vessel up to about midline to cover those burn-through marks. So this change order takes into account the cost and time associated with that additional work that was outside of the contract scope.
Thank you, Allison. Council, any comments or questions?
Nothing new.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Allison. On to new business, agenda item 25, resolution number 02-23 for a budget amendment.
Good evening again. Jeff Schneider, Finance Director. This is our first budget amendment of the year, and it's picking up the police department and the general fund has a couple of grants, so we're bringing those grant funds in and the corresponding expenditures. The building official is establishing a new process where the stormwater part that they evaluate is going to be handed off to people. They're going to get billed for it. They're going to bill the resident, and then they're going to pay the outside contractor. So that's $50,000 in, $50,000 out. Then we have the $722,000 for the state Tequesta grant and our matching fees. So the $722,000, the state will give us $340,884 if necessary, and we'll match that with $382,000, and that's where the $722 came in. You'll be asked to do something smaller, and if that money isn't spent, then we're not spending it. It just goes away. Actually, it just goes away, and the excess goes to the bottom. And then the Tequesta Bridge came in higher than the estimate that we had. So that's about $173,000, and that's the work that Doug is going to do on the Tequesta Bridge. And then last but not least, we got the SRF loan late in September, around September when you approved it. We didn't have it in the budget, and this puts it in the budget. This is our payment for the state revolving fund loan, which is cheaper money. All told, it's a little over $1 million, $1,064,000.
Thank you, Jeff. Council, any comments or questions? All right, is there any public comment? What, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Agenda item 26, consider approval of a contract with Cone and Graham for the Tequesta Drive Bridge restoration.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. This agenda item is a recommendation by staff to approve the Tequesta Drive Restoration Project. We did receive 5 competitive quotes and bids, and the review committee unanimously selected Cone and Graham as the lowest, most responsive bidder out of the 5. This project addresses existing deficiencies and helps prevent more significant and costly repairs in the future, so we're being proactive. The project will restore the concrete repairs on the expansion joints, the spandrel repair on the south side of the bridge. We will be sandblasting the steel sheeting and recoating the steel, bank stabilization on the northeast side of the bridge as well, and then also pressure cleaning and painting the bridge as well. So the total cost from Cone and Graham is $985,282, with the appropriation of $130,729.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions for Doug?
Does the pressure cleaning include the outer side of the bridge?
It does, yes.
Palm tree stain?
What's that?
Palm tree stain?
Palm trees are standing, yes.
Anything, Vice Mayor? I just want to say I'm excited to see this project finally start to happen.
Yeah.
This one's kind of been a long time coming too.
Get a lot of calls on the bridge.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see this one happen. Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Is there any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 27, consider approval of a contract with Win & Sons for the Tequesta Park Steel Maintenance Building slab.
Yes, this item here, we've been waiting for a while on this one. Just to give you a little background, we've already issued a purchase order for the steel maintenance building for Tequesta Park, and that is sitting with Martin County pending approval of the slab. So we reached out to Win & Sons. You approved tonight on the consent agenda their new contract that we're piggybacking, and Win & Sons provided us a competitive quote for a 40 by 80 concrete reinforced slab, reinforced perimeter footings, sloped concrete aprons at each roll-up door, and ADA access at the walk-in door. So again, we're going to use the Pathway and Minor Construction contract that you approved earlier tonight on consent. Total contract cost is $83,494.62. Funding is available in the budget. And once we move that forward, if approved tonight, Win & Sons will issue a purchase order to Win & Sons. They'll submit their permit to Martin County and then start moving both projects forward.
Doug? Council, any comments or questions?
I got one. Is this slab in that future plan for the park?
It is, yes.
Is included in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to clarify that, we came back to the council, say 4 or 5 months ago with this, because the original master plan still had the caretaker's home in there. So we came back, amended that, and we also amended to allow for 2 more pickleball courts in lieu of one of the tennis courts, and that was the 2 minor changes that we made to the master plan that was approved by council.
Any other questions?
Nope.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And item 28, consider approval of a piggyback agreement with Miller Electric for the water treatment plant entry gate and access control improvements.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Allisonburg Utilities Director. Before you tonight is a proposal and a piggyback agreement for Miller Electric Company. They provide all of the access controls for the village, so any of the keypad access for the buildings. This contract we are bringing tonight before council because we expect with this project, along with anything else that the IT department might do, that the expected annual spend may exceed $75,000. So that's why it's before you tonight. And this is for not only the access controls to our maintenance building, which doesn't currently have access controls on it, it's only just a key. And so it's for installation of those access controls as well as upgrading our entry gate access controls to the plant. So this is part of our overall project for security and beautification of the water treatment plant. It will replace the sliding north gate as well as the middle main gate to the plant. It will provide the badge access for both of those two gates, as well as at the main gate a camera and intercom for the operator to see who's coming in the gate or asking to come in the gate, as well as communicate with them in case they need to show additional badges or IDs to access the water plant. Currently, the way it's set up, the operator must leave the control room and walk out to the car that's standing there at the gate, or the person that's standing at the gate, to see why they're there and allow them in. There's a lot of security concerns with that, as well as safety for the operator that's there alone at night. So this proposal in piggyback will allow us to install those additional security and access controls at the water plant. However, the entry gate access controls cannot be installed until we do replace the gates and fence, which we are working on getting proposals and quotes for the gate and fence replacement. So once that happens, then we'll come through and put the access controls at the gates, but the maintenance building access controls will be done right away.
Thank you, Allison. Council, any comments or questions?
No, ma'am.
Just that I thank you for recognizing the importance of the critical infrastructure nature of this. Water is one of the top targets. I spend my day in domestic terrorism, and water is one of those targets. So thank you for recognizing that, and I'm fully supportive of this.
Thank you. And I will say it was in conjunction with PD. They completed a security site assessment for us and identified this as one of our weak points.
Yep. Great. Fantastic. All right. Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda item 29, consider approval of a work authorization with Kimley-Horn for CA services for water main number 2 Beach Road replacement.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Allisonburg Utilities Director. Before you tonight is a work authorization from Kimley-Horn and Associates, who designed Water Main 2 Beach Road Phase 2 water main replacement. The amount of this proposal is $153,817.85. This is for the start of construction through project closeout for Water Main 2, so it's all of our inspection services, anything that comes up with permitting, all of our shop drawing reviews, pay application reviews, and they will be partnering very closely with Juan Rivas, our new capital improvement project manager, to close this project out.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions?
I have none.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Agenda item 30, consider approval of Amici, did I say that? Amici? How do you?
I'm calling them Amici.
Amici, okay, engineering contractors, contract for the water main number 2 Beach Road replacement.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Allisonburg Utilities Director. Before you tonight is the contract for award to Amici. The contract amount is $3,540,449.60. This is for the water main replacement along Beach Road. This is the second phase of that. We did the first phase internally a couple of years ago. This project will be SRF funded, so any funds that are spent will be reimbursed through that SRF loan that we will pay over time. This project, I think the construction time is roughly 210 days till substantial completion and 240 till final completion. Amici was the second lowest bid that was received, but the first lowest and responsive bid that was received. So all of that is outlined in the engineer's letter of recommendation for the project. This project did come in below what we expected for the estimated construction cost for the project.
Thank you. Council, any comments or questions?
None.
I want to appreciate and acknowledge the engineer's recommendation. We always want to be as cost effective, and low bid is ideal, but sometimes low bid is not the best bid, and you end up having more headaches and problems down the road. It can cost you more. So thank you for that thorough review.
Thank you.
Any public comment? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Final agenda item tonight, 31, 2026 Governmental Assemblies Representation Appointments. Lori.
Good evening. So this is the current appointments that you are all serving on at this time, and each of you have been through this process before. So I'm just going to go down the list here and see who wants to serve on what committee for the next year. And there is a description in your agenda packet of each of the meetings. So the Palm Beach County League of Cities general membership, generally the mayor attends all those. So do you want to leave it that way?
Yeah, I mean, as of end of May, I'll be immediate past president. I'll still be engaged, but that general membership meeting is really open to everyone. So yeah, I'll be appointed, but like love to see all of you there. It's open to everyone.
Florida League of Cities, the annual conference. Again, all council members are encouraged and invited to attend the conference, but the mayor generally attends the membership meeting where the vote takes place.
Yes, because I think it's lower on here on the voting delegate as well. So that's fine. I'll be.
North County Intergovernmental Coordination Committee, currently sitting on that is Vice Mayor Painter as the initial person, and the backup is Councilmember Sartori.
I'm fine to keep that as is.
They haven't met in.
I can't even, I
I
haven't seen
don't
a single
think-
one.
Yeah.
I want to be on that one.
Stop.
Years, I think it's been.
But if they meet, you're on deck. One of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, North Palm Beaches Cultural Alliance, Councilmember Brandon serves as the liaison, and the executive assistant to the village manager, Sylvina, is the backup. Not sure if they're still meeting on a regular basis.
They did, they reorganized. It's still on Fridays.
Do you want to keep that position?
I'm fine with it. I see half those people in my work environment on a regular basis anyways, but if anyone else wants to sit down with them. It's very social. Again, it's relating to the arts and just including municipalities in a cultural environment of what happens between our county.
Okay, so I'll leave you there. Moving on to Palm Beach County Multi-Jurisdictional Issues Forum, and we have the mayor as the liaison on that.
I'm happy to continue to serve on that one. I'm gonna be very transparent. If they meet via Zoom, which they sometimes do, I'll be there, but this one's become difficult for me to do in person if they meet in person. So if anyone else is interested, speak up. If not, and everyone's okay with me attending via Zoom, but not when they meet in person, we can leave it there too.
When did they meet?
It's as needed. They're meeting a little bit more,
But if they
because of
meet
the
in person,
countywide.
what time of the day do they like to meet in person?
Usually, like later in the morning. It's all over the board. They change it. It's not. There's not a regular cadence. So I think that's what's difficult. They're meeting a little bit more because of the countywide master transportation plan. Jay's. I think you guys know. I was on McFEC, but I resigned from that executive committee. Jay's involved in iPark 2.0. So Tequesta has input. Is educated. But yeah, and when they do meet, like I said, sporadic, and it's usually in Palm Springs, so it's difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just curious because it wasn't on.
Okay, so we will leave the mayor there.
Did you want to jump in on that?
Palm Beach North Chamber, regular member. This is business before hours, and again, I believe anybody is on council is welcome to attend that. But for the liaison, we have Mayor Young, and the backup is Vice Mayor Painter.
That's fine. I go to many of those.
I go when I can, so I'm happy to stay as the backup.
And business after hours, again, that varies, and also council is invited to attend when they can, and Councilmember French was doing that. So do we want to appoint somebody to try to make the after hours to represent?
I cannot do that one.
Nor can I.
It's not in my wheelhouse either.
If I can make it, I'll go.
Okay.
There you go. You're on the chart.
I was looking at you guys.
Mondays are good for me.
Next, Palm Beach North Chamber Economic Development Committee. Again, Councilmember French was serving on that with Vice Mayor Painter as the alternate.
I'm happy to serve as the primary, if that'll help.
I'll do secondary.
Perfect, thank you. Palm Beach North Chamber Governmental Affairs, the mayor is the primary and Councilmember Sartori alternate.
I'd like to remain the alternate. I mean, I try to jump in when I can, and if necessary, I'll always pinch it for the mayor.
I would welcome someone else to be the primary, and I say that because I do notice the other municipalities, they do rotate, like who is representing and speaking, and I think I've been doing it for the past probably 5 years, 4 years, 4 years, yeah.
I'll gladly, I can't make tomorrow morning's meeting, so if you can do tomorrow morning's meeting, then I'll gladly step up if nobody else wants to. Can always share the duties if somebody wants to say, hey, I want to jump in.
Yeah.
That's true, and I'd be happy to do secondary. I think it'd be good for,
Yeah.
another face on that call,
It's good, you
truly.
get to, I mean, the updates from all the municipalities, educational partners.
Of all of them, that is one of my favorites too. So it's like, it's not that I don't want to do, I see other cities, like even throughout the year too, like different people will hop on. So yeah, I think it'd be good for them to hear from other people. Okay, so it's just swap?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
If you could cover tomorrow, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then Palm Beach North Chamber Environmental Subgroup Sustainability Subcommittee was Councilmember French and Councilmember Brandon.
Is that one meeting still? Do you get emails for it?
It's rare. It died down.
It's 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah, it used to be once a month, and then
And it was
when
always
Chelsea
in person.
organized it, it was once a month.
Yeah, I
And
haven't
then
seen anything in a while for that one.
I mean, you can just switch it if you just want to bump me with Mr. French. That's fine. That one,
Do you want to be number 2?
So,
I'll be number 2.
and you can join. When they do meet, it's usually literally just talking about South Florida environmental concepts, and it's usually sharing like FP&L representative or someone will be there, just what they're doing to be more. So it's more just social, educational.
They're like facility
Not really
too.
voting
It's
or
like a sustainable
creating
company
things.
or building or something.
okay, so I'm hearing that Councilmember Brandon will serve as primary and Councilmember Stone as the backup. And lastly, we have the 2 Palm Beach County League of Cities and Florida League of Cities voting delegate is the mayor, and the alternate delegate has been Councilmember Sartori as the vice mayor. You want to continue?
I'm good remaining voting delegate.
I do attend probably 95% of them, the meetings, so if the mayor can't go, and I'll go, or Patrick, you can always default to you.
How often do these meet, or these are all in person, I assume, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Palm Beach County is the 4th Wednesday of every month, but this is for a voting delegate. We don't vote. We're voting this month on the board slate for, say next year, but starting in May. And FLC, they vote at the August conference.
Okay. Wednesday mornings I definitely cannot do. I don't know which one that falls
It's
into.
noon, it's lunch.
Oh, okay. Do you like going to those?
I do.
If I can go, I'll go.
Okay, sure.
How about that?
Throw it in.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll leave it the same. Okay, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Lori. All right, with that, are there any other matters, council?
Just since it was brought up twice this evening, one of my roles, I facilitate tours for the main detention center and the Western Detention Center. And in that, our explorers have been twice now, and they go to first appearance to see what that happens, the first 8 hours of, or 24 hours of being incarcerated or being arrested. Then we do a complete tour of the jail, with the juvenile section, where they show the children still go to school when they're incarcerated. We go to the temporary holding, when they separate the felonies from the misdemeanors. And then there's a third wing for murder and attempted murder. They get to see that and talk about, why people move in and out of that, and they get to see the facility and see the people. Then we take them down to intake, and they see what happens when they come in the Sally Port, and they get booked, and they get photographed and fingerprinted and x-rayed and all that. And this year, the explorers at their state competition, they're opening up, and for the law enforcement, they're opening it up to corrections, which is well, because that's a whole other part of law enforcement people forget about. And as I emphasized, and Lori was there and got to see the whole thing, is that, you know, there's tons of opportunity. You don't have to be sworn to be in law enforcement like me. I'm a civilian. But it was good. We got to go up to the Fusion Center, and that's the head of Homeland Security from Martin County down to Key West. The room was empty that day, but that's when the president is in town. That's where his people meet. That's the secret room where if you ever make a phone call, it's there. The room is not secret, but what happens in there? what happens in that room? Nobody can ever hear. You can't hear that. It is a total soundproof room. And then we went to real-time crime. And real-time crime is a network of cameras that we have all over Palm Beach County, and they can zoom in on high crime areas. They can follow a crime if there's a pursuit from municipality to municipality. So they got to, again, that's another opportunity. We took them to where all the analysts work, and the kind of work that the analysts do, just kind of helping them to different careers in Palm Beach County. And I do those all the time for different leadership groups, elected officials, anybody that ever wants to come and see that part of the jail, because you know, it's not the sheriff's jail, it's the county's jail. And you know, the sheriff, it's one of the things that, you know, we can't, that cost doesn't go away, just like protecting the airport doesn't go away, protecting the courthouse does not go away, the crossing guards don't go away, all the things that come. So people complain about the sheriff's budget being so high, which it is, and there's a lot of factors behind that. But there's also a lot of off-balance sheet items that nobody ever sees and nobody's aware of, that I get to talk about a little bit. So that's what it was, and I enjoy it. It's one of the best parts of my job.
Great, thanks for coordinating that for them.
Yeah.
I have no other matters for tonight.
So it was brought to my attention that as of next week, we'll have an employee that's been paid working, and I think there's some circumstances that are causing that. But I would like the staff to kind of look into maybe coming up, thinking out of the box, if there's any options to maybe prevent that in the future, and look to see what other municipalities in the area are doing under circumstances that were similar to this case. I don't know if that's something that we would be interested in doing, but I feel like just hard to take in.
Okay, is council in favor of staff, the manager looking into that and
So-
researching what other municipalities are doing, and
There was an employee that no longer works here, but
That
still got paid.
currently works here and is currently being paid, but is not working.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's fine.
okay, so there's full consensus. Jeremy, you want to look into that and the appropriate way to bring it back to us, please? I have nothing. All right. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.